You're going to be late.
She knows she's
Oh,
right.
there you are. I'm sorry. I was paying attention to something else.
All right.
Like a ninja came right in.
She did.
I would like to call the meeting to order at 7:01. This is the Litchfield Budget Committee meeting. It is June 28th. And if we could start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Give everybody a little warm.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Our next agenda item is public input. We don't have anybody in public tonight, but we certainly have everybody on TV. So we welcome you. If you want to come on down before the end of the meeting, get in your car now. We do have a set of minutes, the May 24th minutes. I did email them around. Hopefully people had a chance to take a look.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of May 24th.
Okay, there's a motion to approve. Is there a second? I'll second. So I did, although I did have one adjustment on page 2. It says in the first paragraph under RSA, it says she added the RSA also states that the recorded minutes of a meeting shall be treated as a permanent record of any public body. What I believe it should say is that the official minutes of a meeting shall be treated as the permanent record of a public body. Okay. So that was the one little tiny change. So the minutes have been a motion to approve. It's been seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain?
Aye.
2 abstentions. All right. Correspondence. I forwarded everything that didn't automatically get sent to the budget committee, so you should have had the weekly updates from the town on the budget. I forwarded the updated bylaws. We had several documents from the school district, and other than those official things, I haven't had any other correspondence. Which brings us to our bylaws. We went over these and made the change at our last meeting after the discussion at our very first meeting in April about how to deal with the recording of meetings, live play, real-time play of the meetings and how to proceed with those and how to treat them. So we added a section H, which was under, let me just make sure I've got the correct. Conduct of meetings, section 6. And so it was a new section added, section H, electronic recording of meetings. RSA 91-A:2, Roman numeral 2, states in part that any person shall be permitted to use recording devices, including but not limited to tape recorders, cameras, and videotape equipment at such meetings. And then the part pertaining to us, the Budget Committee does not record its meetings. Other individuals or organizations, such as the Town of Litchfield Cable Committee, may record, broadcast, or live stream official Budget Committee meetings on public access stations, YouTube, Facebook, and other social media. The Budget Committee is not responsible for the dissemination, broadcast, or retention of this media. The official record of the Budget Committee is the minutes. Any questions, comments, or information that arises from the media broadcast may be taken up at a subsequent official meeting at the discretion of the Budget Committee. So that was the new section that was discussed at the last meeting. And our bylaws say that a meeting must, that approval of these must take place at a subsequent meeting, so that would be tonight.
So I make a motion to approve the updated bylaws.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we got 2 seconds. Jess and Nikki. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the Municipal Budget Committee bylaws as amended at the May meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Okay. These will be now officially posted down. We'll make sure that these are posted on the town website so people can access them and see them. Getting to reports then. Town business. John, you want to update us on what's going on townwide?
Yep. So general status, 2018 budget currently sits about 54% remaining, on track. We're still watching the fuel costs because that seems to still be a wide variable, but it's only up 3 cents at this point, and we're still sitting about 55% available. So we're at a healthy point. Last Board of Selectmen's meeting, we did approve the 2018 merit reviews and the increases that we decided to do, and they'll go into effect as of July 1st. Fire station project. If you live around here, you hear the vibration. The foundation work started. They're doing site draining and the site work. The Ekman contract was signed. The estimates came. The construction cost came in at $3,211,711. $3,211,711. Also, there's $517,689, which is the owner's soft costs and other fit up costs. So the project still is an estimate of completion is $3,729,400, which is about $20,000 under budget so far.
That's excellent.
Yep. So good progress being made. Lots of activity from all parties. So as far as the police department goes, the cruiser that was approved in this year's budget has been purchased and has arrived. It is in the process of being fitted out, so you will not see it go into service for another month or two, potentially, based on schedules. As you recall, it is a Tahoe versus the Ford Explorers we've been running, so it's a little different there. From a tax clerk and tax collector perspective, the first tax bills are due on Monday, July 2nd, and the total warrant for the taxes was $10,032,027. And as of right now, I think we have about $1.5 million outstanding that still needs to be collected. So doing well. From the back office, town side, we did receive our 2017 financial audit in draft format. We'll have our final presentation and the final report will be released around September 1st. And that's when we'll be available for everybody to review. And that's all I have.
So you said the merit reviews were completed and started July 1. Do you have a total of what that?
I don't have it in my notes, but I do have it somewhere. Hang on a second.
Okay, just if
it's within what we asked for. I think it's under the budget number we asked for, but let me just double check here.
If you can get us the total.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions for the town?
Anticipated completion ballpark?
Of what, the fire department?
Yes, please.
Summer here.
Yeah.
Before moving. I mean, the walls will start going up probably by the fall.
Yeah.
So a lot of interior stuff. The loud racket we're having will end soon, hopefully. I think when the foundation gets put in, it'll probably go idle for a little bit, and then it'll start picking back up again. I was here today. That I heard the comments about the vibration, and I'm here working. And I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, it's just what the rest of us deal with regularly from blasting. So
Yeah,
welcome to what we.
But it's hopefully. I mean, they're making significant progress, and I suspect that'll.
It looks good.
Temper down pretty soon.
It's just exciting to see progress.
Yep. Yeah, the groundbreaking ceremony is scheduled for July 9th at 5:30, which is Monday at 5:30. So that's when we'll officially open the site and go from there. So anybody who wants to come, please.
I was just gonna say, I assume that's a public event.
It's open to the public. It's being publicized. They should start seeing more of it. We had the dates got skewed a little bit. We were originally going to do it on the 1st, and then things got changed around. But But yes, it's a public event.
Okay, everybody's welcome. Any other questions for the town? Alrighty then. School update.
Sure. Three things we'd asked about last time. The first was how the leftover money impacted the warrant for the kindergarten. And Corey had told me that the $102,670 that was used from fiscal year 18 was actually budgeted into the warrant article, so it's not going to impact the actual warrant article itself. I think we shared the numbers before. Do you want the numbers for the breakdown or for the kindergarten? Or are we all set with that?
Yeah, I think that's what Carrie was looking for.
The total appropriation was $774,242. 96,000 of it was from state funding. The 102,000 was fiscal year 18, and $343,592 from general taxation. And he said it's in pretty good shape right now. I met with Corey today about the overall building of it, and he said that it's all on track. Furniture's in the gymnasium, the trenches are dug for electrical, and
There was a portion used from the also from the impact fees.
Impact fees. I missed that. 231,700. I missed that. Sorry about that. But he said he was a little leery until last week, but they've assured him once the metal foundations are down, I guess the buildings will be up in 2, maybe 3 days, and the trailers, and they can be inside working on them as they finish the outside. So he's very confident now it'll be up and running before they need to be there. So it'll be in good shape. And they, at the same time, we can go right into the GMS security update. They started that, I think it was last Saturday on the 23rd. They got right in there doing that. I believe I drove by today, and the existing doors, I believe, are blocked off, if I'm not mistaken. So that's on track too. He thinks that's going to come in easily on budget, maybe a little under, and any extra will go back to the capital reserves.
And they're going to put in the fence that was appropriated through warrant a couple of years ago.
I believe so. I didn't ask about that. Is that the?
There was a security
fence.
It was being held off until we knew the outcome of full day kindergarten.
I vaguely remember that being mentioned.
When I did my tour with my son, it was mentioned, oh, we're doing this, but no mention of the fence. So I just want to make sure
is that on the backside?
It was supposed to enclose the current portable and then go through just
that is going up. I remember.
Right. I just want to make sure that didn't get lost.
I'll double check on that.
Because I know a lot of people have concerns about access to the portable, so seeing the fence will help at least put some ease and hopefully. I
remember that being mentioned at one of the meetings, but I'll double check. And the other news on the GMS security, the state is opening up to $10 million in funds for security again. It's very early stages, but Corey's going to meet with an architect and look and see what they can do at LMS to make it more secure. He did tell me today, which we'll get to in a second, with the yearly overage, he's putting card access. It's been 4.5 years since my kids were there, but you know how you get into LMS and you can basically walk down the hall without passing the office. Mm-hmm. It sounds like the fire doors for both the main wings are not going to be closed with card-only access. So that'll be one of the improvements that'll go through this summer, he said.
Wow, what an effective but simple answer.
It's simple, but yeah, and there's no plans yet for A, if we get any of the funds, or B, what the actual plans are. He's going to meet with the architect over the next few weeks for LMS.
Well, what was the plan for this? We did that big, we had the report issued.
Yeah.
Is there any idea of how we're going to implement certain parts of that?
That's going to be discussed this year. Most of the security upgrades that are going through weren't necessarily from that. They're from Homeland Security's visit.
Right. So I just my suggestion had been to pick the big ones, warrant it, get it done, instead of try to piecemeal it over the next 5 years.
He and I talked about that this morning because that came out before I was on the board, just going over what was there.
Right.
And I believe that's going to be brought up with the new superintendent. With the school
so my thought is if we warrant it, just put it all together, one big thing.
Yeah, I think he mentioned that the total is, I believe, around $6 million for all 3 schools for the security upgrades.
Security, huh? That's not what the report is for the.
I'm sorry, not security for the entire. What is it? H&L Associates.
Yeah, it was half that. So I'm curious as to what the other 3 came from. So
I believe he said 6 today.
Well, there is a building and grounds committee, so if we can see that,
I will get that
recontacted. As a person who sits on it, I'd love to see the bigger picture too.
Yeah, and I know we just talked maybe for an hour this morning over the facilities, and I know it was all encompassing new HVAC units,
Oh, yes.
roofing, and a lot of it was going to be substantial.
I think it's interesting that the report, having seen it, is how LMS was actually the school that had more concerns than GMS relative to HVAC and the roofing and stuff. So it'd be good to see it all. Yeah, everybody thinks GMS, but really it wasn't.
Think about it. LMS is what, 30 years old now. It's gonna have. I remember roof being done, but LMS is almost 40 years old because I remember the roof being done almost 20 years ago.
That long? Generally.
It's been a while.
10 to 15, I think, is how long they usually last. He did mention that there's a contract that's going to be looking at the roofs.
Yes.
So I think starting in the fall, repairing what can be repaired, but compiling a list of what needs to be replaced. So there's going to be a lot going on as far as planning to see where the schools are. And he won't know anything about the LMS, the new security upgrades for there until the whole review process goes through the state.
So it sounds like this is going to be a warrant article coming.
We haven't discussed it.
So if it is, it's going to have to be very detailed.
Yep.
Very detailed explanation and justification for what the figures are.
The reason I had considered a warrant article is just because rather than have an electrician come in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, if you package it all together, you get the economy of scale. You have one guy that can do all three at the same time. So the reason that's why I advocated for it is just it's easier to get a contractor just to knock it all out in the summer.
Yeah, and again, I'm just speaking from a discussion with Corey this morning. I think that's a big focus of his is determining what is the best course as far as packaging, what's feasible, what's not feasible.
No, absolutely. I'm just glad to see that the conversation is still going. We haven't forgotten about the schools.
No, it hasn't. And that was just Corey and I. It wasn't.
No, absolutely no. I think that's great because I think a lot of people see these schools and like, why aren't anybody doing anything in these schools? The conversations are being had. We're looking at the best way of doing it. And I think it's important for people to understand that we are doing something, even if it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. And I know that'll be a discussion going forward in the fall. And the last one is the financial update. Corey right now is looking at an overage for the year of about $365,514 being returned to the general fund, to taxpayers. He said that's not going to be a firm number probably for a week to 10 days, but he says it probably will change by a little bit.
Would he be able, when you report that number, I'd be interested to know how much of that is special ed related.
I don't have a hard number, but I asked that question today, and he thought it was about 50.
They did break it down.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I do have I have the number.
I didn't
from
think
last
into all
week.
the pages. I figured it's easy to ask.
He said as of right now, it's about 50,000. It's about 50,000 plus or minus.
Okay.
So as of right now.
Okay.
But he'll have a firm number, he said, in about a week to 10 days.
Well, school's not over yet. I don't expect him to.
So,
well, school is over, but the year's not over.
As of tomorrow, it's over.
And the only other thing, which was, I guess, minor in the scheme of things, the state made an error in adequacy funding for the state Smarter Balance tests. We got some money back, but it was for fiscal year 16 about $6,700, and fiscal year 17 about $6,800 back to the general fund. So
better than owing.
I read through the report, and I don't know what the error was. It didn't really say it, but there was an error, and we got $13,524 or are getting $13,524 back. I think.
Is there an update on kindergarten enrollment? Just curious.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do have that 72 with 1 half day. So 71 full-time and 72. So they're right at the projection they came in at. So they're going north of that now.
And what was the state's projection?
Well, the state wasn't a state projection. It was a state formula. I think it was 61 or 62. Our projection that was put into the budget was for 72. So we're right at that now.
Cool.
I would hope most people are registered by now, so it shouldn't be. It should be a few trickling in, maybe. Yeah, I
I'm sure you'll
see
see
10.
more people in town over the summer.
That's what I was going to say.
My wife stays on top of real estate pretty quick. That's like her hobby, and there's a fair number of houses. Right, I was a little surprised there haven't been that many in the last few months, and it seems like it spiked in the last couple of weeks. So
this is the time to put your house on the market if you want to sell it.
Yeah.
So just comparing last month's financials to this month's financials, Special ed last month was projecting 76,117. Now they're projecting 55,312. General education, $123,883. So that is increased to 310, which, as we said, is as encumbrances are paid and final bills are paid, we expect that to loosen up a lot, and it has. So,
And he said today he thinks the numbers are going to go up a little bit, not down.
yeah, I don't imagine it will change dramatically. So the amount that will be applied to offset next year's tax rate is, as of June 20th, $365,514. And I did look at, because I know one of the questions was the kindergarten cost breakdown.
Mhm.
Is it the same as what was presented to the voters? And I did go back and look at deliberative session, and that is the breakdown that was presented to the voters. So it is.
And I'm sorry, I didn't give you the.
Bless
I
you.
gave you the round. I didn't give you the $42. I said sorry, but it was from the projections.
I like round numbers, so don't worry.
So I know it was exciting that the numbers went up a little bit because
Yeah.
I think the projections were really low for the next couple of years. So they're creeping.
It's going to be interesting to see because as I was looking at it, it's potentially going to be higher. Was it for next year's kindergarten? So in 2 years, the first grade will be bigger than the current first grade potentially. So we dip them. So it's one thing we'll have to consider as we go through.
I mean, we're still down, but.
Well, we're down. What did we just graduate? 130.
130. I think the next biggest class I looked at was 117, I believe.
And the biggest one in elementary school, I think right now is 90 or 89.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but it is interesting to see that we do dip down and then it comes back up.
Comes back.
So as we develop the 3-year, once we get enough data over the next couple of years to see what the enrollment projections can be for kindergarten, it'll be interesting to see what that cohort looks like.
Yeah, it'll be I think I told you, having done the state's formula for a district,
Mhm.
I think, the economy coming back is probably it'll probably take a year or two to get the projections back on track again.
Well, I think what we're seeing happening is all of the people whose kids have gone through the system or are holding on to their houses
Yeah.
because they couldn't
We're starting to
sell them for the price that they
Mhm.
invested in them. Now that the market is better, people who've been holding on to their houses are selling them, and they're going to be selling them to people who need bedrooms.
Yeah.
So, and that's people with kids. So I do expect that we will see numbers increasing all across the board, but
And I wrote down to mention because I think it's a great, and I'm sorry, I don't have his name. The gentleman that owns Reed's Ferry.
Mhm.
Do you remember his name?
I don't know. He does the recycling.
But he does the recycling
stuff
thing.
for
So
LMS.
he donated a shed value $3,200 to
nice.
CHS to get the recyclables, the cardboard outside from
Oh,
the
that's very
weather.
kind of him.
And I thought that was just worth
Very
mentioning for the
Absolutely.
gesture he gave. It was a great
I'm
thing.
trying to blank on the name.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
His name. And that'll be put, I think, behind the dumpster near the loading dock, and they'll be able to get the cardboard. I guess it was a mess back there, so it's a great thing. And that was it.
Okay. Any questions for school district?
Oh, and I did tell you next week, I'm sorry, the audit's at the end of July. I thought it was in early July. So the final audit for the school is 25th.
We don't wait till
27th.
August.
Yeah. Usually we don't get the audit till the fall
Yeah.
because
You guys want to vet it and make sure it's good. And
it just takes a while.
realistically, most people are in summer mindset. So.
All right. Thank you. Moving on to member input. So I just want to touch base. I believe, Nikki, did you go to the training?
I wasn't able to go.
Okay. So did anybody go to the state training? Oh, okay. I was just curious what people thought. I wanted to compare notes if people had gone. I know in September timeframe, they usually have more training, and that is specific to budgeting. So what was nice about the one that just happened was it was free. There's in the past there's been a fee for the one in September, but maybe they're going to all free for member districts. So
Given the turnover, would it be worth considering having him come again?
that's not a bad idea.
Because we have mostly a new board since the last time he came. Just throwing it out there.
I can look into that. Are people interested?
I would appreciate that.
Maybe
for
having
sure.
someone come and talk about what I do when new people come on the board. I take those minutes, and I forget, you're right, how many years ago it was now, when I send those minutes out, so at least you have an idea of what the old training was. But that might not be a bad idea. I'll investigate it if that's okay, and bring that back in August or the September timeframe. Any other member input?
Just curious if we've heard from our member who hasn't been joining us.
After the last meeting, I did send a message, inquired and reminded Mr. Lambert about our meeting tonight. I fully expected him to be here. I haven't heard any other messages, so I will touch base again.
So according to our bylaws, if he is not here at the next meeting,
Right, it's 4.
By state law, it's not our bylaws, it's by state law.
it's also in our bylaws. Okay.
Okay, yeah, in addition to our bylaws, yeah. Yeah, so I will touch base and I will remind him of that. And, it's possible that the commitment timeframe isn't available, in which case we do need to know that anyways. And
I guess I just would rather know sooner rather than later, because
before budget starts.
right, we're not going to meet
waiting
again
for.
until August, and then we'll have the process of
Finding
right.
a new member.
Well, he has been checking his email because he's logged into the account. So
Yeah, he might just think too that we're not fully into the season. Perhaps I don't know, but it'd be nice for him to touch base. George, email it.
So, anything else?
just an update for the question you asked. So as far as the increase goes, the number right now sits at $13,623.
23. Okay.
And your bylaws have already been published.
Thank you.
Look at you. Wow, you are all over it.
Well, if I didn't do it now, I'd forget. So
Is that 13,260?
13,623.
yes, and I did round it up to $1, so 622 and change.
Okay.
Is anybody new on the budget committee other than me?
Yeah, we
So
actually
the
have
returning
Brian.
ones are Cindy, myself, and Jen.
I just wanted.
So
I got
everybody
a-
else is new.
I got an email from Jason. If that's what the noise was. New people on the school board and the budget committee have to use staff123 as their password, then change it after they get in for Google.
Oh, okay.
So the passwords we use for Outlook won't work the first time.
To log in here.
To
I
log
think
into
that
the
was
new.
a
That's just for the new.
School.
Oh, all right.
If we were to meet back at the school.
Gotcha.
No, no. I'm sorry. For the
No,
new.
that's only for school.
Their
board
school
members.
Google,
Oh,
their school
okay.
email stuff, yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't impact us.
I clearly don't have to.
Sorry. Oh, they won't affect the numbers.
Yep.
That's just school board.
This is
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was anybody on the.
Yep.
I missed-
All right.
Yeah.
And now we come to our second public input. Nobody jumped in their vehicles and rushed down here. So,
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
all right. It's the motion made motion has been made to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Our next meeting, Thursday, August 23rd, we will not meet the month of July. So we will be back here the end of August. And that really starts when we start to get into looking at budgets and where we stand, the end of the school, where this town stands, and then start thinking about budgets in October. All right. Good night, folks. Have a great holiday, 4th of July, and we'll be back in a couple of months.
We'll see you.
Thanks.
Have a good week.